In June of 2012, 4 high school and college-aged youth from the Philadelphia area accepted the challenge to become youth media ambassadors and travel with Motivos magazines to the beautiful country of Colombia. They were immersed in local culture, lived with host families, and forged new friendships while taking active roles in service learning projects. Their goal to explore values, voice, and vision in this new land shaped their inquiries and led to new discoveries each day.
Hello, my name is Janae Chiswick. I'm the founder of Motivos Bilingual Magazine. It's a magazine for youth that I launched 6 years ago, and it's in English and Spanish. The intent of the magazine is to give students the opportunity to express themselves through poetry and essays and interviews, to connect to their cultural heritage, and an opportunity to explore college and career options as well. And this is the first time that we've been able to bring American students from Philadelphia to Colombia for a cross-cultural exchange.
Hi, I'm Daniel Skillings. I'm the director of PCT Colombia. Our organization is set up basically to offer exchange programs for students from Colombia to the United States or to Canada. We've been sending kids from Colombia to really give a better idea of what Colombia is all about, that it's a great country to be able to visit and know about.
For 12 days we've been here. We've had a great experience. We've had a chance to get to know the people, to try the different kinds of food, to explore the natural beauty of the country, and also to travel into the countryside. We came to discover that Colombia has so much to offer. As we know, the media often gives a negative image of a country or a people, and my students from North Philly know that well. They often get a negative rap, and so this was a great chance to expose the beauty, the richness, the uncovered secrets that often are hidden from the general population and help bring them to light.
Upon our arrival in Bogota, we were each greeted by our respective Colombian host families, who we'd stay with for the first 10 days of our cultural exchange. We noticed right away that our Colombian families seemed to spend much more time together conversing and joking than separated by walls or schedules. Family time was important, and it seemed natural to spend time together. And as we ventured out around the city and surrounds, our host brothers and sisters often joined us. They weren't simply the families we were staying with. They became our families, opening their hearts to us. In return, we opened ours to them.
Canto Rush, yo quiero lo que tú quieres lo que yo quiero, y ninguno de los dos sabemos lo que queremos. Tú eres todo y eres nada, todo si todo se enciende, nada si todo se apaga. No importa que el corazón pueda tener sus razones, cuando no tienes razón, tu querer era mi muerte, no lo quise saber por no dejar de querer. No es que tú me hayas dejado, es que yo me he quedado en un sueño en el que tú me has dejado. Todos morimos de amor, queriéndolo o sin quererlo. Morir no es perder el tiempo. Morir no es perder la vida. Morir es perder el tiempo.
Together, we explored the seemingly endless landscape. The city of Bogota never stopped impressing us. But while navigating the city, we couldn't help but wonder what stories were playing out on the outskirts of town. What issues and challenges lingered on the fringes of society that weren't being told. Our first stop was a youth refuge center called Benposta. There, troubled or orphaned youth impacted by the violence in other parts of Colombia maintained a small town complete with a garden, school, theater, and dormitories. They formed their own governments and worked out their issues in a democratic manner. We mingled with the youth in our Values, Voice, and Vision workshop and shared our dreams for the future, finding out we really wanted very similar things for our lives and our loved ones.
So, nunca es poco cuando lo que se da es todo lo que se tiene.
So never, and then it's never is little. When it's what you're given, it's everything that you have. So it's basically saying that nothing is too small when you've been given it, if it's all that you have. Like, don't take anything for granted.
everything, every little thing means something.
And in every situation, give everything you have because that's who you are. And that's all you have.
We'd also meet a man by the name of Pedro Medina. As a country-renowned businessman, he founded McDonald's in Colombia and led it for 7 years. He now runs his foundation, Lo Creo en Colombia, I Believe in Colombia. A fascinating person, he owns an apartment packed with objects of interest to him, each item with its own story. He calls it the Museum of Peace.
When things are going in crisis mode, we are in a crisis in the world, we're in an environmental crisis, we're in a social crisis, we're in a values crisis, we're in a financial crisis. We have two choices. We can pretend nothing is happening, and we can just go with the flow and the herd mentality and not do anything, or we can choose another route.
We found people that, in some ways, reminded us of ourselves. Tadeo University journalism students were intrigued that we traveled all the way to their country. They asked to interview us. Afterwards, we asked them why, in a country where journalism is so influenced by politics, would they still insist on pursuing the career field. They, like us, felt that we weren't getting the full picture of our community or our country until all stories were given voice. They also figured that, eventually, the old heads would die off, and they would be given a chance to tell things their way. We were constantly learning and absorbing throughout the cultural exchange. From the simplest exchanges over the dinner table to the profound desire to wrap our hearts around the students at Benposta. We met children from the northern coast of Colombia who traveled to the capital to promote their upcoming holiday and joined them in the dancing at the cultural ministry. We also took time to absorb the natural beauty in the areas that surrounded Benposta. South of the city, we meandered across mountains and through cloud forests. We saw a cathedral made of pure salt and climbed by foot for a closer view of Colombia's highest waterfall. We relaxed in hot springs, kissed the cows, and rode our horsebacks into the sunset. And then, there was the food. Our bellies were never empty for long in Colombia. Our hosts made sure we tried as many types of food as possible, and so we sampled and sampled and sampled and sampled some more. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner became epic adventures as we tried meals that used cheese, vegetables, pastries, and spices in new ways we couldn't imagine before and couldn't live without afterwards. Fresh fruits were the norm, rich coffee was a staple, and sweets like obela, a combination of caramel arequipe and mora jam, were to die for. Endless delights. As our trip came to its end, we took time to reflect on our collective experiences. Though each in our own way, the trip had changed our perspectives on Colombia, on America, and on ourselves.
I'd never wanted to close my eyes because I thought I was going to miss something. Even if we were driving, just looking out the window, it was nice to see different things that were going on outside the window. There's always people out on the road.
We at Motivos grew on this trip. We had visited a place the media often described as a conflict zone and found instead a rich, cultured, proud, and peaceful country. Our perception on reality had been altered, and a new dimension had been added to it. After discovering so many unique quirks and qualities to a single country on our side of the world, that is why we tell to you, go, explore, express, exchange, engage. You will never feel more alive.
Quiero decir que te lleve a
So we just got the free newspaper ADN, and they're giving out free colas, and the motto on it says, Piensa en grande, think big. Great motto for us in Latinos.